There are quite a few Fallout videos I want to make right now, but feel like I almost can't. Not even just for Fallout 4, even with some of the older titles, they're getting epic new mod releases which are genuinely overhauling the game. But I have a unique predicament. I don't know if I cover these mods if they're still going to work in a week, or if several Fallout games are about to get updated and go through their own version of a mini mod apocalypse. So of course what I'm talking about here is the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, as well as several other updates that may or may not be coming to Fallout 3 and New Vegas, as well as potentially even other games. And this all could be happening as soon as tomorrow, and there's a real chance it's coming tomorrow, so pay attention. As you've probably seen, a bunch of other creators have been posting videos on this topic over the past couple of weeks, but I do have some additional info that I think can provide some extra context on what exactly is going on with the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, and even how the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update may be bigger than you originally thought. Bethesda has only spoken about the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update on 2 separate occasions. Back towards the end of 2022, they released a bunch of discussion videos and content generally to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Fallout. And as a part of this, we got the announcement of the Next-Gen update, with them saying, a Next-Gen update is coming to Fallout 4. Coming in 2023, this free update will be available to Xbox Series X/S, PlayStation 5, and Windows PC systems, including performance mode features for high frame rates, quality features for 4K resolution gameplay, bug fixes, and even bonus Creation Club content. A lot of that is pretty high level and vague. This was likely written just as work on this update was beginning, so they probably didn't get too specific. But if you are aware of the broader context, that final bit on bonus Creation Club content is very interesting. The final Creation Club update was released all the way back in late 2019, and then the program just stopped. Or at the very least, new releases stopped, because work on Creation Club actually didn't stop in 2019. We saw in both 2020 and 2021 how Bethesda had Creation Club updates, basically just saying things were being worked on, but there wasn't a clear release date. Eventually, those updates too stopped and nothing ended up coming out. But now, as you see bonus Creation Club content mentioned as a part of the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, I have to imagine there's a decent amount of content that was finished by either Bethesda or some of the modders in Creation Club that's just been kind of sitting there collecting dust this whole time. So I wouldn't be shocked if this Next-Gen update also includes a nice little free DLC to go along with some of those performance improvements and bug fixes. But after that, the very next time Bethesda spoke about the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update was in late 2023. Just 2 weeks before their self-imposed deadline for release, they took to Twitter to reveal that the update would be delayed into 2024. So at this time, many people, including me, assumed it would release around the Fallout TV show. Why release it at the end of 2023 when instead you could just release it right around the time you're going to get a bunch of new players from the TV show's debut? But here we are on the day of release of the Fallout TV show, and not even a mention of the Next-Gen update has happened. So it very much so seems like it's not coming this week, or is it? The only other somewhat official communication we got around this is Pete Hines in late 2023. He says, I did try to get an update before I left, nothing concrete I could share. And I believe this tweet from Pete Hines, as well as how the Next-Gen update was actually announced, are incredibly telling. The Fallout 4 Next-Gen update never got much fanfare from Bethesda. The original announcement in 2022 was incredibly random and casual. It was posted halfway down a larger article, and Bethesda didn't even mention the update in the title of that article, despite the fact that for a lot of fans, this is by far the most notable announcement in the article overall. To me, it seems like the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update ended up becoming a much bigger deal in the eyes of fans after it was announced, and this likely in comparison to what Bethesda had originally envisioned for that update. So I wouldn't be shocked if that original 2022 version was relatively minor, but as hype built up over time and the release of the TV show was approaching, and maybe even the release of creations for Skyrim, they got a bit more ambitious with what this update would actually be. And as of right now, I have 2 major theories that I think are pretty plausible about what might be going on, one of which involves us finding out a lot more tomorrow. Something strange happened with the Bethesda towards the end of 2023, where all of a sudden they started talking a lot. We had this weird period of minimal communication and confusion. This was mostly around both Starfield and the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, but then suddenly 1 week in the middle of December, the floodgates opened. We got the Starfield roadmap for 2024, the delay of the Next-Gen update was finally announced, and just in general, a ton of communication from Bethesda after months of silence. That lasted for a bit, but then since, Bethesda has reverted back to being much quieter. But I have a feeling we could see the floodgates open once again tomorrow, as something is happening. Tomorrow, the Fallout 4 Special Anthology is releasing, a collection of each of the major games in a nice mini nuke bundle. They released something similar back in 2015, but it's since been updated with Fallout 4 and 76 this time. And Fallout New Vegas was even re-rated just recently by Peggy to go along with this launch. But I have a feeling this could end up becoming more than just a bundle of the existing games. Every single game in this bundle got a new branch on Steam on the 14th of March 2023. And literally all of these games, even Fallout 1 and Fallout Tactics, got a new branch added. You can think of a branch on SteamDB as a different version of that game. When you're downloading an update for a game, you're downloading a new branch. And Bethesda can upload these themselves as they're working on updates around games for easier access and distribution. So all of the games in the special anthology get new branches, but in the last month or so, 3 of the games have gotten even further updates, with Fallout 3, New Vegas, and of course, Fallout 4. And also technically Fallout 76, but that game's always getting updates because it's actually getting new content and it's live service. Conversely, the rest of the bundle has pretty much just been inactive since then. Fallout 4 has by far seen the most activity, with it getting tons of changes on basically a daily basis, and this is very likely the next-gen update, but we also have these mysterious changes around Fallout 3 and New Vegas. They both have new branches, and although they haven't seen a ton of changes, they did get new additions just in the past month or so. So all that's to say that it's very likely that we're seeing the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update and then something smaller scale for Fallout 3 and New Vegas, like a 64-bit compatibility patch. And my theory is tomorrow was the day Bethesda was always planning to announce a lot of this content. The Fallout Special Anthology is finally going on sale properly, not just for pre-order, and it could simply be a case of the Fallout TV show moving around while Bethesda isn't. One of the odd things with the Fallout TV show is we are technically on our 3rd release date in about a month. The show was originally dropping on the 12th, but then it was moved up to the 11th, and then this week it was moved up again to the 10th. That's pretty weird. I have no idea why this happened, and from a marketing perspective, that definitely seems unideal. You have to move around plans constantly, but it also wouldn't shock me to learn that Bethesda always had a plan to announce something on the 11th with the Fallout Special Anthology, and even though the show moved, Bethesda didn't move. And I think that Blitz communication strategy that I highlighted earlier that happened in late December could just end up happening again. We saw it once before where they were weirdly quiet until one day the floodgates just opened up. I'm pretty uncertain as to what could actually be coming as far as updates go, but at the very least, please do make sure to disable auto updates on Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Fallout 4 if you have active modded playthroughs on PC, because there is a decent chance mods will break if these games get updated. So theory 1 is maybe it's just a case of Bethesda waiting until the last minute to reveal things once again, but I also have a separate theory, because the alternative way I look at this is it really doesn't matter if all of those other games get updates. Fallout 4's next-gen update is free. It's not like Bethesda is going to generate a ton of revenue around it releasing right next to the Fallout TV show, and the same line of logic applies to the New Vegas and Fallout 3 updates as well. Bethesda's main way to make money off of the Fallout franchise right now comes from 2 major sources: Fallout 76 and Fallout Shelter, because of course, both of these games have very active microtransactions. Fallout 76 was just included for free as a part of Prime Gaming. Last month, Fallout 76 got a new DLC, and even just this week, the Vault 33 jumpsuit was added back. And Fallout Shelter is getting a larger update tied to the Fallout TV show as well. I think a lot of us were hoping for a Fallout 4 Next-Gen update because it's what we want to play. But if you really do look at things from a purely business perspective, it makes a lot more sense to devote resources to these games where you can actually make money from some of the cross promotions that are popping up. Like, yeah, sure, you'd probably sell a couple of extra copies of Fallout 4, but you'll probably make way more money by selling bundles in Fallout 76. I think overall, we could see Bethesda running into some growing pains around communications. They went from a company that announced things very late to a company with a ton of announced things that has been tending to remain radio silent until it's time for a release. So you just get these years of not really much talking. And when it comes to some of these updates, there are 3 main dates to keep in mind. I think there's a real chance that we learn something tomorrow, or perhaps even a release date tomorrow. I have no idea if we're going to just get a shadow drop of a bunch of updates, or instead, more likely just an announcement that there'll be more news at a later date. Alternatively, the summer showcase is always a possibility for something getting announced. And of course, the other big one is October. That is the anniversary of Fallout, and more than once, Bethesda has done something around October. So I could totally see a situation where Bethesda was planning something small that turned into something much larger. And regardless of when we end up learning more about the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, it's definitely coming, and it definitely seems decently sized. Fallout 4 is seeing changes on SteamDB almost every single day, and it's been like this for about a year now. One potential theory I have is perhaps they're deciding to add creations, and that's why the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update may be coming out later in 2024. They just added creations as a new take on paid mods to Skyrim in December. Maybe that ended up exceeding expectations financially, where a lot of things just sold really well, and they were like, hey, yeah, let's add it to Fallout 4 as well with the Next-Gen update so we could actually get a bit more money out of that game. It's not like we're seeing Fallout 5 anytime soon. My understanding is creations was originally planned to drop for Skyrim back in late 2022, but of course that never happened. It seems like it got delayed internally an entire year to late 2023. Perhaps something similar is occurring with Fallout 4 right now. Perhaps whatever goes on with the implementation of creations leads to some difficulties or troubles. And in reality, it's that which is pushing back the release date of the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update. Either way, those are some of my current thoughts and theories on what's going on. I think we have a couple of concrete timelines as to when we might be learning more. And while we don't exactly know what's going on with the Fallout 4 Next-Gen update, I think there are a couple of very plausible theories, and I'm sure one of them is going to end up being true. And regardless of what happens, I'll make sure to keep you up to date with whatever's going on with Fallout, so get subscribed to learn more. But if you do want an excuse to jump back into Fallout 4 right now, check out this video. The game just got a new DLC-sized mod, and you can learn more about that here.